This spiral began with wanting an update on South Carolina's quest for a new official state flag. First, a bit of history. For South Carolinians, the significance of palmetto trees dates back to 1776 during the Battle of Sullivan's Island in the American Revolutionary War. The British Royal Navy had set their sights on Charleston Harbor, but their 9 warships had to get past Fort Sullivan first. The fort was unfinished, and yet, this turned into an embarrassing defeat for the British. Their cannonballs bounced off of the fort because it was made of palmetto logs deeply embedded in the sand, absorbing the impact of the cannonballs like a sponge. 9 hours later, the British retreated, leaving behind a ship marooned on a sandbar and set ablaze. This victory immortalized the palmetto, and it has been on the state seal ever since. It was added to the state flag in 1861, within weeks of South Carolina becoming the first state to secede from the Union. It was designated as the state tree in 1939, and even the official nickname is the Palmetto State. Now, back to the present day and the state flag update that started this whole inquiry. Welcome to South Carolina, where the official state flag is a masterpiece in progress. Since introduced in 1861, South Carolina's flag has boasted an indigo blue backdrop with a centered white palmetto and a crescent in the top left corner. That official design was replaced in 1910, and the 1910 design was repealed in 1940, but not officially replaced. The flag has been open to interpretation for the past 8 decades, as it has not required an exact crescent, palmetto, nor shade of blue. The SC State Flag Study Committee was formed in 2018 to address this issue. Multiple rounds of proposals followed, including the controversial 2020 flag design that garnered a 95% negative response, even prompting a tweet likening it to a toilet brush. Despite the introduction of bills in 2021 and 2023 to adopt new designs for an official state flag, the bills failed to reach the Senate floor for a vote. As of early 2024, this issue remains unresolved. During my search, it came to my attention that Florida also attempted to call dibs on the palmetto tree, a fact I had failed to notice until now. Loosely related, in much of the South, the word palmetto bug is used interchangeably with cockroach. In 1953, the Florida legislature declared the palmetto as their state tree, 14 years after South Carolina had already done the same. This was a weird choice because the coconut palm was already on their state seal and flag. Supposedly, they selected the palmetto for being the most widely distributed palm in the state, which is boring. Florida set out to address this coconut conflict, and in 1970, the legislature mandated that the palmetto would replace the coconut palm on the state seal. In 1985, the Florida flag was updated to reference the new seal, finalizing their transition from coconut palm to palmetto. The specific tree claimed by both states is the sabal palmetto, which is also called a cabbage palm. If Florida wanted to fully commit to erasing the coconut, Cocoa Beach should be rebranded to Cabbage Beach. Alternatively, Florida has 12 native palms, so they could just choose a different one. Florida's attempt to hijack the palmetto made me wonder, is it normal for states to claim symbols that other states have already called dibs on? It turns out it is, and South Carolina and Florida aren't the only states that share a tree. Arkansas and North Carolina both chose a pine tree without specifying a specific species. The cottonwood, American elm, eastern white pine, and flowering dogwood are each claimed by 2 states. The white oak and tulip poplar are claimed by 3. The tulip poplar was initially claimed by Indiana in 1931. Tennessee followed suit 16 years later. 9 years after Tennessee's claim, Kentucky decided to lay its claim on the tree. Sort of. Unfortunately, Kentucky forgot to document this legislative decision, so it wasn't official. This caused a debate that lasted for 40 years, with one camp advocating for the tulip poplar and the other pushing for the coffee tree instead. In 1994, Kentucky officially designated the tulip poplar as its state tree. And finally, on the high end, 4 states share the sugar maple. On the opposite end of the spectrum, California and Nevada each claim 2 trees. California adopted the sequoia in 1937 without naming a particular species of the native redwood. In 1951, the state attorney general ruled that both species qualified, and this was amended by the legislature in 1953. Nevada chose 2 pines, first stealing the pinyon from New Mexico in 1959 and adding the bristlecone in 1987. Other symbols are also claimed by multiple states, but the birds are perhaps the worst offenders. The eastern bluebird, mountain bluebird, and black-capped chickadee are each claimed by 2 states, the American robin and American goldfinch by 3, and the northern mockingbird by 5. The western meadowlark is claimed by 6 states, first by Wyoming and Oregon in 1927, but the tiebreak goes to Wyoming. Despite the Oregon governor declaring it the state bird in 1927, it didn't receive official recognition by the legislature until until 90 years later in 2017. The biggest offender is the northern cardinal, claimed by 7 states. A bird so nice they named it twice. Altogether, there are 30 states that share these 8 birds. This means that there are only 20 states that do not share a bird, and only 28 unique birds selected across all states. This lack of originality is bizarre, as there are more than 700 unique bird species native to the US. Let's set the state symbol squabbles aside. There are 2,600 species of palm. Only 14 are native to the United States. The sable palmetto, native to the southeastern United States, the Bahamas, and Cuba, gets the cabbage palm nickname from the cabbage-like flavor of its edible terminal bud, or heart. However, harvesting hearts of palm will kill these trees, since the heart is the only place new leaves can grow from. The coconut palm, native to the South Pacific but naturalized in the United States, globally the most extensively utilized nuts, arguably making this the most important species of palm. Hearts are also harvested, equally fatal. Palms exhibit 2 distinct leaf forms. The sable palmetto has fan-shaped leaves, whereas the coconut palm has feather-shaped leaves. The California fan palm, or desert palm, is native to the southwestern United States and Baja. This is the only palm native to the western United States. The Mexican fan palm, native to northwestern Mexico but naturalized in the United States, they are fast-growing, up to 6 feet per year while young. When picturing Los Angeles, palm trees likely come to mind. Recall that only the California palm is native to the western United States, but this tree would not be found in the semi-arid Los Angeles basin. Instead, it would be further east in the super-arid Mojave Desert, meaning every palm in Los Angeles is a transplant, lending the city landscape a semi-tropical facade, perfectly appropriate for Hollywood. Before the 1930s, handfuls of palms were ornamentally planted in pockets throughout the city. Then everything changed. In 1931 alone, Los Angeles planted more than 25,000 palm trees, often mischaracterized as a beautification project for the upcoming 1932 Olympic Games. The primary goal was unemployment relief. Beginning in 1931, 400 men planted 40,000 trees along 150 miles of streets as part of that program. LA's palmscape may not last. With an expected lifespan of 100 years, many will reach that mark within this decade. When replaced, the city may opt for less thirsty trees, especially in light of the ongoing water crisis. And now a confession. Palms don't conform to the typical botanical definition of a tree, lacking the characteristic woody concentric growth rings. Instead, palms have randomly organized small vascular bundles and are close relatives with other large grasses like bamboo and bananas. There's more than one perspective from which a tree can be defined. Ecologists may adopt a broader interpretation, allowing any plant that functions as a tree within its habitat. For foresters, a tree might be anything suitable for lumber. It's open to interpretation, much like the current South Carolina state flag. That concludes whatever this adventure was.